everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the third part of the How to Build a Content Empire series. My name is Ben Gothard, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises, author of CEO at 20. And today, what we're going to talk about is the mixture and the synthesis, so bringing together of your business's purpose and your content creation. Now, the reason this is so important is because at its core, your purpose defines who you are as a business, defines your what you're about, what you're trying to get to, what you're trying to accomplish, and why you exist. And your content needs to reflect that. So we've already talked about the importance of keeping that content creation in-house. We've talked about the overall idea of content creation, and now we need to align that content creation, this very powerful tool that we have, with the purpose of the organization, right? So purpose and content creation, they need to come together. They absolutely have to come together, and I want to tell you why in this video. So let's jump right in.
So in this video, again, I want to talk about purpose and finding your purpose. Now, what's so important about finding your purpose when it comes to content creation, and I'm actually going to go a little bit more into this later, but I want to touch on it a little bit now because I think it's important. When you have purpose, you have direction, you have guidance, and you understand what the long-term goal is, so you're able to really drill down and get things done. I mean, have you ever wanted to achieve something incredible, but you didn't know where to start, or you didn't know where to go, you didn't know what to do, you didn't know how to do it, you didn't know why you were doing it in the first place? Well, when you have purpose, you're able to overcome all of those things. And so purpose to your content is extremely important because it really connects you with your customers. It connects you with your prospects. It connects you with your community. So I'm going to go a little bit more into that later on in the video, but for now, I'm going to start with purpose. What is it? What actually is purpose? So, in order to grasp the concept of purpose, I want you to picture somebody who you think of as extremely successful. Now, when they wake up in the morning and they set their alarm clock, do you think that they're doing it because they want to or because they have to? I would argue that successful people get up every single day for a reason, and that reason is their purpose. They know what they want to accomplish, and they will stop at nothing until their mission is complete. So, in order to get the things in life that you want, you need to find your purpose. So again, what is it? Well, according to the Oxford Dictionary, purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. It actually comes from the Anglo-French purpose, which translates to intention, aim, or goal. However, I think that purpose it's more powerful than intention. It's more powerful than just some aim, something to shoot for. Purpose, to me, is a central and all-encompassing goal that guides and drives you to take specific, massive action. So one of my mentors and a national best-selling author, he once told me that massive action solves most everything. And you know, he's right. Massive action does solve most everything. And when you have purpose, you are empowered to take massive action. So when you're creating your content, when you are building your business, when you are doing the things that you need to do in order to be successful, you need purpose to empower you to take that massive action in order to get those things done. So, purpose, what is it? Well, it's a driving factor. It's your reason for getting up, and it's the thing that really pushes you to succeed, to achieve. Now, everybody has a different purpose, and purpose means different things to different people. But at the end of the day, purpose is the underlying reason for doing the things that you do. There's this book called Good to Great, which was written by a fantastic author, Jim Collins. And he talks about the importance of a purpose. Now, he calls it something a little different. He calls it a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. But the essence of a BHAG is a purpose. It's that massive thing to aim for that you know will bring you satisfaction when you get it. It is that thing that you're always aiming for. You're always trying to reach. So Collins, in the book Good to Great, he talks about the importance of pursuing your passion, pursuing your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. And in this book, he actually says, all companies, just like people, need to have goals. But there is a difference between merely having a goal and becoming committed to a huge, daunting challenge, like a big mountain to climb. And so there's a distinction there. People set and achieve goals every single day, every single week, every single month. But it takes a lifetime to fulfill your purpose and to achieve your life's purpose. And it is such a big goal that it can't be done in one day. If it's done in one day, then it's not big enough to be your purpose. At least not big enough to be your life's purpose. Now, Collins uses the example of President Kennedy's moon mission in the 60s. Instead of aiming to improve the space program, which is a goal, Kennedy instilled purpose in the people of America. He declared that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. Talk about a BHAG. Talk about a purpose. The chances of success in his mission were about 50-50. Yet because the purpose was so powerful, it stirred the entire nation to action and to support. Now, I want to give you an example that you can put yourself into the situation and really live through this example. So I want you to picture yourself and think of yourself as a pirate. A pirate of old times, on your boat with sails, and you have on all the equipment, and you're sailing the seas, and you come across a treasure map with a dotted line and a great big X that marks the hiding spot for the treasure. Now, in this example, it's tempting to think that the treasure is your purpose, but it is not. And the reason I say that is because finding the treasure is a goal. And that is a goal to get money. And for some, that's a driving factor, at least to some extent. But purpose is bigger than that. Purpose is bigger than money. It's bigger than treasure. It's bigger than an X on a map. It's what drives you in this example, you and your pirate crew, to search for the treasure in the first place. It could be a desire for freedom. It could be a desire to be captain of your own ship. Or to, in stepping away from the example, to start your own business. It could be the desire to rebuild your village. Anything that is a massive goal, it is all-encompassing. It is a driving factor, a motivator that can serve as inspiration and motivation to you for years to come. That is a purpose. That is grandiose enough for a purpose. Now, I want to give you another example because I think it is so important to understand the distinction between goals and a purpose. So take LSTN Sound, for example. This company believes that what is good for business can and should be good for the world as well. And their mission, their purpose for existing as a company, is to create global change by providing high-quality products that help fund hearing restoration and spread awareness for the global problem of hearing loss and hearing impairment. They don't want to just be another sound company. They don't want to just sell headphones. They want to change the world. And that is a purpose. To change the world is a purpose. To help people is a purpose. To sell 20 pairs of headphones, that's a goal. So you see the distinction between goals and purpose. Now, your purpose does not have to be as big as solving the world's hearing problems. In fact, there are very few rules as to what your purpose can be. There are an infinite number of causes out there to stand behind, but you need to pick something that resonates with you and run with it. So, we talked a little bit about what purpose is, but I still want to go into why you need a purpose. And it's not just for content creation, although you do need purpose for content creation. You need a purpose. But understanding purpose is one thing, and recognizing the importance of having purpose is another. You see, because everybody has a unique purpose in their life, whether it be to help others, provide for family, or just be free. But because there are so many things to pursue, a lot of people end up standing for nothing. And this is an extremely limiting belief. So why do you need purpose? Well, I truly think that having a purpose is more important than what that purpose is. Because having a purpose will drive you. So I want to repeat what I just said. Having a purpose is more important than what that purpose is. Now, I'm not saying that the substance of your purpose doesn't matter. Obviously, the purpose of taking over the world is a lot less noble than the purpose of solving the problem of world hunger. But having a purpose is more important than what that purpose is, because when you have a purpose, it will guide and influence your life decisions. And when you have a purpose, you are going to be a lot more willing to take massive action, to succeed, to try things, attempt, to fail, to learn, to grow. And when you have that purpose, it allows you to work your way through different obstacles. Now, what I'm saying is that deciding to stand for something when you have nothing to stand for, deciding to stand for something is the most important first step. And again, it is so important because once you take that first step and you have your purpose, then you can start achieving. You can start taking action. You can start accomplishing things, achieving things. And because you know what your end goal is and you know where you want to go, you can start strategically achieving things that helps you get closer to your bigger goal, your BHAG, your purpose, your reason. So let me give you an example. Blake Mycoskie, entrepreneur, author, and founder / chief shoe giver of Tom's Shoes, started with one purpose and had it evolve completely to a different one. In 2006, Mycoskie went to Argentina to immerse himself in the culture. He learned how to tango while he was there, which is the national dance. He learned how to play polo, which is the national game. He learned how to drink. Well, he didn't learn how to drink Malbec, but he drank Malbec, which is the national wine. And he also started wearing the national shoe, which is the Alpargata. Now, he had seen this shoe everywhere. People were wearing them in cities. Farmers were wearing them. People wore them to nightclubs. And Mycoskie thought that there was a potential market in the United States for these shoes. Now, towards the end of his trip, he met a fellow American who was volunteering at a shoe drive. She showed him how few children in the world had shoes. And not only did it complicate every aspect of the child's life, like getting to school, like getting water from the local well, because they had to walk there, but it exposed them to disease. And they would get blisters on their feet, and they would die. And Mycoskie's trip for fun turned into something much, much greater. He had found a problem that he cared about fixing. He had found his purpose. So he took that idea, he took that purpose of helping to, or of wanting to end the problem of lack of shoes around the world. He had an idea. He was going to sell a pair of shoes today and give a pair of shoes tomorrow. Now, he called this idea, this business, Tom's, after playing around with the idea of tomorrow's shoes. And his purpose was to give away as many shoes to children in need as he possibly could. So he found people in Argentina to help him accomplish this mission. He recruited some local help. And he headed back to the United States with 250 samples that he had made back in Argentina. By the way, the shoe style was the Alpargata, the Argentinian shoe. So Mycoskie took his shoe and his story and his purpose to market. And he immediately struck gold. He made a deal with American Rag, Tom's first retail customer, after American Rag realized that Tom's was more than just a shoe. It was a brilliant story that was backed by a very noble purpose. The first summer that Mycoskie came back to the United States with his shoes in, He had sold 10,000 pairs of shoes. And he had sold those 10,000 pairs of shoes by the end of that first summer. And as of 2016, Tom's has given away over 10 million pairs of shoes. And Blake Mycoskie is now worth over $300 million. So that just goes to show you how strong of an influence purpose is to your life. How strong of a pull purpose is, and how it can bring other people in, and how powerful purpose is. And when you're standing for something, and you're fighting for something bigger than yourself, purpose is what allows you to create major positive change. And it's what drives you to create that change. And it's what keeps you, it's what shields you from any sort of negativity and criticism. So what if you have a purpose, you decide on a purpose, and that original purpose ends up being something that you don't want to continue pursuing, and you need to change your purpose? Who cares? The only way that you are going to know if a specific endeavor isn't for you is to try it. Now, I'm not saying to go out and try anything and everything that you can possibly find, but pick a sum that you're interested in and go try it. If Mycoskie hadn't sold a single shoe in America in that first month, that first summer, he would not have been a complete failure. He still had a lot of culture, a lot of perspective from traveling to Argentina. He still made new relationships, built new friendships, and most importantly for him, he ignited within himself a yearning to help others. If selling the shoes didn't work, he would have tried something else. But if he didn't try anything at all, he would still be searching for his purpose today. So it doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't matter if you want to change your purpose. What matters is that you have a purpose and that you're willing to stand behind it, you're willing to fight for it, and you're willing to give everything that you have in order to defend it, in order to see it through. So that is the importance of a purpose. That's why you need it, because it gives you the juice in the tank to keep going. And even if you don't think you can do something, a very strong purpose will bring out the best in you, and it will allow you to accomplish at a level that you have never accomplished before. So I want to give you one more example, and I want you to think about Starbucks. And I want you to take Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, for example, because he found his purpose. The now $3 billion man, Schultz, was, as a young child, living in poverty. His family had no health insurance, they had no workers' compensation, and they really had no income. Now, Schultz knew he needed an education, so he took out student loans and worked various jobs. He even sold blood when he needed the extra money. Now, before long, he had risen in the ranks at Hammerplast, where he sold housewares, and that is where he first encountered Starbucks. So after meeting with the owners and recognizing their passion, Schultz persuaded them to bring him on as a director of retail operations and marketing. Now, after a while of doing this, Schultz visited a coffee house, or a few of them, in Milan. And he saw how the owners knew their customers by names and served them personally. This gave Schultz an epiphany. Schultz had found a purpose. He wanted to enhance the personal relationship between people and their coffee. Now, after having his idea of an Italian-like experience for customers rejected by the Starbucks owners, Schultz actually left the company for a while and started his own. He called it Il Giornale, which is Italian for the daily, and proceeded to raise $1.6 million in order to get it off the ground. To this he says, "In the course of the year I spent trying to raise money, I spoke to 242 people and 217 of them said no." He actually wrote that in his book, Pour Your Heart Into It. Now try to imagine how disheartening it can be to hear that many times why your idea is not worth investing in. It was a very humbling time. However, 2 years after he left Starbucks, he had gone on to do Il Giornale. He had been so successful that he came back and bought Starbucks. He bought the company, which had over 6 stores, and he became the CEO of Starbucks Corporation. A few years later, in 1992, the company went public, and its 165 stores pulled in about $93 million. By 2000, Starbucks was a global phenomenon with over 3,500 stores and $2.2 billion in annual revenue. Not only that, but because of the hardships that his family suffered growing up, Schultz now offers all of his employees, even part-timers, complete health care plans as well as stock options in order to honor his father's struggle. So Schultz is a shining example of the power of purpose and why you need it. He early on figured out what he wanted to do, and by taking massive action, he was able to do it. If a boy in the slums of New York can achieve massive success by finding his purpose, then so can you. So why is purpose so important? Well, purpose, it's that flame. It's the flame that ignites you to take massive action and to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. And in order to accomplish those things, you're absolutely going to need to overcome obstacles. You're going to need to problem solve. You're going to hit walls. You're going to hit problems. You're going to encounter things that you had no idea even existed. You're going to encounter things that you knew existed but didn't know how they fit into business. You're going to encounter things that you knew existed but you didn't know how severe they were. And you're going to encounter things you absolutely knew how severe they were, and now you have to solve them because you're a business owner. Why do you need passion? Passion is what gets you through all those times. Passion is what keeps you going. Passion is what makes you able to defeat that which seems undefeatable. And passion is your why. It is your reason for doing something. So now we know what passion is. We've talked about why you need it as an entrepreneur. But I want to talk about how to find it. How to find your purpose. How to find your why. Your reason for doing the things that you do. Now, before I give you a step-by-step plan to finding your purpose, I want you to take comfort in the fact that everyone is still looking for their purpose. And the reason that is because purpose grows with you. Your purpose one day will not be your purpose the next day. It may be very similar. It may have been derived from, one may have been derived from the other. But chances are that over time, your purpose is going to change. And that's okay. But you need to find a purpose to start off with. To start causing that massive action, to start causing that change, to start showing you results. So, how do you find your purpose? Well, luckily for you, I want to share a step-by-step method to finding your purpose. So all I want you to do is take out a piece of paper, and using one line per idea, I want you to write whatever comes to mind when you ask yourself, what is my purpose? What is a purpose? It doesn't have to be anything special. It can be very simple, very cliche, like help people. Or it can be something like, I want to drink chocolate milk every day for a year. Then on the next line, I want you to write down another. You can build off the first idea, you come up with something completely new. There are no rules. There are absolutely no rules to this. You are simply trying to brainstorm as many ideas as possible. So keep writing, keep going on new lines, until you find something that you care enough about to stand behind. This may take 100 lines, may take 1,000 lines, may take 5,000 lines. But as long as you keep writing and thinking, you will eventually find something that you feel is right and that you're willing to stand behind. Once you find that thing that is worth accomplishing, try it out. I'm not saying that you need to quit your day job or drop out of school and devote your life entirely to this idea that you just thought of, but you can start small. You can start by volunteering to help somebody who's already doing what you're doing and already doing what you want to do. For example, let's suppose you wrote down, help stray dogs find a home. You absolutely do not need to buy a large vehicle, hire a team, or start scouring the streets. First, I would volunteer in an animal shelter for an hour on the weekend. See how it makes you feel. Perhaps you want to be an entrepreneur. Perhaps you are an entrepreneur. Volunteer at a local business that interests you. You can learn, you can network, and you can decide whether or not that business model is something that resonates with you as far as purpose. You will likely only know what it would be like to follow a path, a certain path, by seeing it yourself, by going down that route. If it is fulfilling and it makes you happy, then I would keep doing it. And if not, then just hit the drawing board again. So when you're finding your passion, you are micro-testing to figure out what interests you. Then you're volunteering. You feel like it, you keep doing it. If you don't, you don't. But at the end of the day, you're getting rid of so much regret. Because let's say you wanted to try this thing, and try that thing, and try this, and ultimately settle on that. Well, if you hadn't tried all those different things, and then settled, how would you know what you actually wanted? So one of the biggest fears that a lot of people have is the fear of missing out, the fear of regret. I could have done this, I wish I could have done that. And with this system that I just shared with you of micro-testing your goals, you should not have any of that doubt in mind. You should be out there doing it. So now we've talked about what content creation is, what purpose is, why you need it, and how to find it. But I want to tie this back into content creation. And the reason that it is so important, and the reason that I've spent so much time talking about what it is and why you need it and how to find it, is because it is crucial in business. Purpose is what will draw your customers in, because customers resonate with purpose. let's say, for example, that there are two different companies that both sell hairbrushes. If one company's purpose is to end baldness, and another company's purpose is to end the lack of dollars in their bank account, which purpose are you going to resonate more strongly with? Well, when you resonate, you as a potential customer, when you resonate with a brand and you buy into their company, you buy into their purpose, you are much more likely to spend money with them. I know personally, I would probably buy the hairbrush, that a percentage of the proceeds goes to fighting baldness. And most customers are the same way. So when you give them something to resonate with, you are turning on a magnet, a very powerful magnet, that will attract them in herds, in flocks. So a strong purpose is something that customers resonate with. In addition, strong purpose will guide your content. If you know the problem that you're trying to solve, or you know the industry that you are trying to provide value to, and you have a very strong purpose that will guide you to do those things that you said you were going to do. Means you're going to follow up. Means you, together with your customers, are working towards this purpose together. And so not only do customers resonate with purpose, but it gives your company direction, it gives your business direction. That direction will further attract customers because they'll see your consistency, they'll see your purpose, they'll consume your very high quality content, and they will opt in to your purpose. And when you have a connection with somebody at that fundamental level, then that is a lot stronger relationship. And so if you continue doing that with your customers, you will benefit. So in addition to customers resonating with purpose and guiding your content, it is long-term and sustainable to have content creation directly dictated by purpose. If your purpose is to solve a problem, pump out content that educates people on the problem, educates people on the ways to solve them, educates people on the best way to solve that problem. That's the name of the game when it comes to content marketing. And it comes to social media marketing, when it comes to content creation. When you are sustainably putting out content over the long term, and all that content aligns with your purpose, your customers are going to want to join you. They're going to want to listen to you. They're going to want to trust you. And not only that, but you're establishing yourself as this purpose-driven company that people want to do business with. They want to work with you. So content is incredibly, incredibly important, not only to business, but to content creation. And purpose is incredibly important to content creation and to business.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it has been very helpful to you, and I hope that now you can see why it is so important to align your business's purpose with your content creation efforts. Again, when you meld the two, you create a flow, a very consistent flow, a very consistent experience for your customer, for your potential customers, and you have everything aligned. So everything's moving in the same direction. So if you would like to learn more about how to build a content empire, you can actually click the link down below, and Dr. David Zemmels, who is my partner on this project, and I are going to give you the specifics of exactly what you need to do to build a content empire. Now, this is going to cover what the pros do, this is going to cover what I do, this is going to cover what you will be able to do with your content creation. It's going to go through step by step the system for exactly how to maximize your content creation efforts and help you build a content empire. All right, I will see you there. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.